Welcome to another Boostly training video. My name is Mark Simpson. I'm the founder of Boost Hospitality, or Boostly for short. And in this video, we are going to talk about the 5 stages of the booking process. So the booking process is every stage that a potential guest goes through before booking a hotel room or a holiday cottage, an Airbnb, or basically a few days away, a week away, a couple of weeks away. I'm going to show you from stage 1 all the way through to stage 5 and how you can influence their decision making by making sure that you are visible everywhere, everything is easy, and things that you can be doing a little bit differently now. So I'm going to split it, like I said, into 5 stages. Now those 5 stages is plan, research, decide, booking, and buyer's remorse. Now if you want to go back on any of these points, you can go to boostly.co.uk/blog, and there's its own section for the booking process, which you can find right here. So everything is written down, so you can go back on everything that I'm going to explain to you today, get it in more detail, and you can go from there. But first and foremost, we're going to go on to stage number 1, which is plan. So this is where a potential guest, will start their search. So the question I have is that where do most people go? And the answer is Google. The exception to this rule is if a person already knows of you or knows of a website that they're going to directly go to. If anybody is up to date on Google Analytics, they'll see this in your stats because it'll say direct. So that could be basically somebody going, right, I know that I want to go to here. So that would be a direct. So the plan stage is not somebody who would go directly to here because they know about the property. The plan stage is somebody who's right at the very start, who has an idea of a town or a city that they want to go to, i.e. York, but they are trying to find a place. So as you can see, you do, and this is the most popular search term, for example, hotels in or places to stay in, insert town or name. So I've done a very vague opening search for hotels in York. So as you can see that 1, 2, 3, the 4 3 out of the 4 properties that come up are online travel agents, meta search websites, and they're paying Google a lot of money. As we all know, people don't like to scroll. So you're not going to see many people doing this, scrolling. They're not going to go out of their way to look directly for an individual property because, like I said, if they have an individual property in mind, they'll just go directly to their site. So what can you do? So basically, this is somebody who is searching here. What can you do to make sure that you are giving yourself a chance to be clicked on? Quite simply, make sure that you have got at least a basic listing on these websites, Trivago, Booking.com, TripAdvisor. Make sure that you've got a Google business page, just like these have got here. And again, in the natural search results, so this is basically people who haven't paid money, but they've got what's called search engine optimization, is places like the Grange and Trivago. These guys will be spending so much money. Now all of these properties are big properties. They're not your small to medium independently owned family run businesses. These are guys with big budgets and big money. So if they're in here, for example the Grange in York, it's because they've spent a lot of money to get in there. So my advice for the first stage, for plan, make sure that you are being seen everywhere and make sure you're doing everything that you can to be seen everywhere. Now, for example, the people who may have more of a vague idea, but they've got a specific need in mind. So for example, they may be looking for disabled holiday accommodation, so for properties that are really catered for less abled people. It could be somebody who's taken a pet with them and they want to have pet friendly accommodation. If you want to appear for these results, these are what's called long tail keywords, and this is a great way of getting onto the first page of Google, is by targeting these searches. So for example, with the granary, our unique selling point is that it's a farm stay accommodation. So we made sure that when we worked with our website designer, is that we got farm stay Yorkshire, farm stay Scarborough, make sure that it was mentioned in the key locations on our website. So I'm going to show you a quick example of pet friendly hotels in Scarborough. So when somebody does this Google search, and it is done quite a lot, you can see here that the properties that are coming up, pet friendly hotels, TripAdvisor, Lodging World, etc, etc, etc. But Ox Pasture Hotel, they've made sure that they've got mentions in the key places of pet dog friendly hotel, so it comes up on the first page of Google. Again, obviously all the OTAs are here, and then we've got places like the Rosedene, the Delmont and the Clifton, which are all in here. So you just got to make sure that it's mentioned. So this could have been mentioned in a review. As you can see here, the reviews are there. It could have been mentioned in the description, but just make sure that whatever your unique selling point, whether it's being pet friendly, disabled holiday accommodation, farm stay, sea views, etc, etc, you get it on your website and then you'll get seen. So the trick is to be everywhere, and that's what you're doing right now. You're making sure that your website is set up correctly. Make sure it's got the right wording in it for attracting the people that want to stay with you. And you're also making sure that you're on all of these listing sites. So my advice would be, think about what your unique selling point is for your property. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you haven't got a niche, think of one. Try and the reason why small bed and breakfasts or small hotels work is because you offer something a little bit different than just your standard faceless organizations like Travelodge and Premier Inn, why people don't go and stay there. So whether you offer like a really good breakfast, you could put amazing properties with amazing breakfast, which is like a key thing at this present moment in time, or it could be that you've got 4-poster beds, or you've got an amazing bathroom, or you have a phenomenal sort of customer experience. Whatever that may be, make sure you get it across, because there are people searching. Now, if you're stuck and you don't know what people are searching for on Google, there's amazing tools out there where you can do the research. If you basically go onto Google right now and just type in Google keyword planner, etc., and then you can sort of see how many people every month are searching for what you think your key unique selling point is on a monthly basis. And if you think that there's a high amount of people are searching for that, even if it's just 500 or 700 people searching for your unique selling point, that's potentially 500 customers, because it's more of a niche. So first stage, number one plan, is make sure that you are being seen everywhere. So step number 2 is research. And again, if you want to go through this at any stage, you can go onto the website boostly.co.uk and go down to the blog section, and you can see it on the step 2 of 5. So step number 1, as we went over, was plan. Number 2 is research. So this is when a guest has done the Google search, they've discovered what they want, whether it's a vague search such as hotels in insert town or name, or if it's a more of a bespoke option, so pet friendly properties in insert town or city. And it's, what do you do next? So it's, how do you get them to stop from just scrolling or clicking around? So when they go onto the site, how can you get them to go from a scroll to a click? And 9 out of 10 times it comes down to images. That first image has to draw people in, because you don't get a lot of text here, and people don't want to read a lot of text here. They want the thing that draws their attention is the image. So for example, an image like this really does sort of give across the opinion, not the opinion, the impression of what their unique selling point is, and that's the most key thing here. So for example, the ox pasture, beautiful gardens, a countryside property, travel lodge. It's all about budget, but it's a really nice clear image with nice bedding, no creases or anything like that. A bad example would be this one here. It's dark, it's dingy. So my advice would be, and it's not like I'm not going to say these to the faces because I'm speaking to the Riverland at the moment, the Riverland Hotel. It needs to be a lot better. So you compare that room photo with that room photo. That room photo looks clean, nice, clear, welcoming. That one looks like it's from the Bates Motel. So it's just little things that you can do just to draw that people in, and that's really clear. Now obviously when someone's doing a search and they want to go a little bit step further, they will fine tune it. So one of the options would be they're going to fine tune the cost, for example. They're going to obviously have, if they've got a specific need, for example, pets allowed, near a beach, etc., they'll click on there. So you just got to make sure that when you set up your listing on any of these sites, doesn't matter whether it's Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Trivago, you name it, doesn't matter where they go, you got to make sure that your listing is set up correctly and it's attracting the type of people that you want in your property. Obviously a big aspect will be reviews, and we'll go on to that in a second. But yeah, so the main thing is that when anybody comes onto any of these listing sites and they're looking to do a bit of research, make sure that you've got your price point sorted, make sure you've got all of your amenities sorted, and also as well make sure that your reviews are in line. So that's really what number 2 is looking at. This stage of the booking process, they are looking to make sure that their needs is matching with what you can provide, and you've got to make sure that you put it down. And again, the same goes with your website. You've got to make sure that as soon as somebody is doing the research, so say for example that they're coming onto your website for the first time, they've found you and they're doing a bit of research, make sure that the first thing that they see is exactly what they need. So for example, we're all about farm stay property at the granary, so make sure that they know that they can eat, which they can, sleep and explore, which we say that's our tagline: eat, sleep, explore at the granary. Nice big button to let them know where they can book now if they want to. Again, it just explains here one of the benefits of booking now. Away from the sights, sounds and smells of towns and cities, our location offers a secluded and quiet atmosphere to sit back and enjoy a break from your daily routine. So that really is what our property is all about, and we've just conveyed it in a nice, easy sentence. And again, everything that they need is on this property. They can find out about the tea rooms, the wildlife farm, they get the reviews. So what I try to do with this, and when I work with the website designer, is that we got everything across from what we're all about. And again, doesn't matter whether we're talking about a listing site here. So again, our image is exactly what we are about. It's farm stay property. Try to get across the animals because it's an image that will draw eyes to it. So when you are clumped in with lots and lots of different properties, what is your unique selling point? What is your number one image that you use to sell it? Now you may be thinking, well, I'm just a terrace house in the middle of a town. Try and get your best room with lots of lighting. For example, Carton House right here. One of my clients, the exterior of the building isn't the best. It is what it is. So we focused on an image bright lights, nice bed, and we put that on and it works. Now, it's a great place to check on this is your stats. So for all these listing sites, you can find out how many times you appear in the search results, and then the next graph will always show you how many times people are clicking on you. So if your listing is appearing, say, 100,000 times in the search results, but you're only getting clicked on 100 times, and you can see that the other properties are getting booked up around you, then go back to the basics. How can you improve? Is it your photographs? Is it what you're offering? Is your amenities not set up correctly? You know, make sure that you go back to the basics before you can progress and improve. So that's research. End of that. Stage number 3 of the booking process is decide. And a guest or a potential booker will have got to this stage after doing the planning. So they've done the search on Google and they've found a place, then they do the research, so they're finding an actual property here. This is where they are trying to find one that stands out. And then you get them onto your listing. So you've managed to crack the first 2, and they've clicked on to your listing, or they have gone onto your website, and it's what can you do next to get them to be on that booking page. Again, everything that I'm going to talk about is on the website, boostly.co.uk. Go to blog, go down to the booking process, and you can read about everything I'm going to talk about now in a little bit more detail. So let's go back to TripAdvisor, and we're on the Ox Pasture Hall Hotel, a great TripAdvisor listing, loads of reviews, currently number 3 of 28 hotels in Scarborough, so a great example to use. So the person is on TripAdvisor, as a lot of people do go to, and they're looking obviously at the reviews, they're looking at what people are saying, they're trying to make their mind up now. So what you do now is you're getting them to go from, that looks like a nice place, to that's the place I want to go to. And this is where websites like TripAdvisor, for example, this is why websites like Booking.com, they get so many bookings, because they can pretty much tailor the booker's experience down to what their search results are. So let's see what I mean by this. Today's value deal. It's got a big thumbs up, so say it's a preferred partner. Superb in the reviews. Only 1 room left on the site. Free cancellation. No prepayment needed. What it's doing, it is making the person who's clicked onto this page book. And it's giving them all the reasons why they should book. Only 1 room left on the site. Free cancellation. No prepayment needed. Superb reviews. Today's value deal. Everywhere you go down on here, it is telling the person to book now or you'll lose this room. One of our top picks in Scarborough. It gives the reviews. It lets you know exactly about the property. It tells everything that is coming, and it gives it in clear, concise information. It's not in one big group of text. It's not confusing. It's just easy. And this is one of the main reasons why Booking.com and the OTAs just smash it. More than what any independent hospitality owner does at present, is because when you go onto an independent properties website, it's confusing, it's hard to read, you got to click through pages. Everything here is in one area, and it is easy to scroll down. Doesn't matter whether you're on a phone or on a desktop. And that's what I want to sort of get over to you on this bit. This stage is so important. Doesn't matter whether it's just somebody just going, right, I just want a room, or if it's someone who's doing a bit of research into it. You've got to make sure that your important information is in front of the guest. And again, they come down to the price. With the granary, we've got the standard rate, and this is the non-refundable rate, or the low rate as they now call it, no money back. So what I try to do here, and this is why we get so many of our initial first bookings from places like Booking.com is because we made the listing and I designed the listing so it's appealing, so it drags people in, and when they're on the page, so they go here and they see all the pictures. We work with a local photographer to make sure that all the pictures are clear and concise. Everybody knows exactly what they're getting. We make sure that we keep on top of our reviews. We work with Booking.com to be on their preferred partner program. We have a non-refundable rate. We have a standard rate. So we give all the options to people, and then Booking.com do the rest with their powers of persuasion. You know, I'm a massive fan of getting people to book, obviously via websites, but I'm also not naive enough to know that people are never going to go to these other websites. So when they go onto these other websites, doesn't matter whether it's Booking.com, Expedia, Late Rooms, TripAdvisor, Trivago, I've got a standard listing on each of them, and I make sure that standard listing is at the best of what it could be. And then I focus on the 20% of those websites that are bringing in 80% of our bookings. And when one works, I double down on it, and it just works phenomenally well. We get someone through the door first time at Booking.com, and then it's up to me and up to the marketing that we do to make sure that when they come back and stay with us again, as they've had a great time, they're booking it directly with us. So it's using those marketing channels to make sure it works for you. Now, if someone comes onto your website, and I love using the Atlanta in Scarborough as a great example of the work that Ed's done here on the website. He's transformed the website working with Flow Media to make sure that they get through all that information, the clear, concise information that is on websites like Booking.com, but they've put it on their website. So again, you'll see here that you don't see on most websites. They give it in nice little images and boxes what the property is all about. Not massive text. Logo, free Wi-Fi. Logo, rooms. Logo, well located. Wealth of knowledge. Secure parking. Secure bicycle parking. On street parking. Award-winning breakfast and dinners. You know, it's helping that guest do it in a quick amount of time. All the while it's check here for availability. Giving information about Scarborough. We've got the food hygiene rating, you know, pictures, photos, reviews, which is a really big thing as well. And here's the really cool thing. When you're on the website and you're scrolling down, and you're going to have a little look around, after a certain while the pop-up comes up, and the pop-up is quite controversial. A lot of people hate them, but they work for a reason, because it draws your attention to it. So right now, as soon as I've been on the Atlanta site for more than 5 seconds, this pop-up kicks in. And again, these are easy to do for your websites. It says here, save pounds when you book direct. So if I'm a guest and I've come through to the website, everything looks great, I'm scrolling down, I see that message, and it basically means when I book direct, I get the best price. You are doing yourself a massive favor in getting them to click through to then go through to the guest booking section. So these are the sort of things that you need to be looking at for not only for your website, but on the Booking.coms, the TripAdvisor, etc., is that to make sure that your incentives, your unique selling points are matching up with what the guest needs are. You've got nice clear pictures, your reviews are on point, you've got all the pricing options available on your website. Again, nice clear information, and pop-ups are a great way of getting people to go to that next step. What you want to do, the whole goal and the whole aim of this is to get someone to start here and then to go here. So I'm going to show you about that next stage. Step 4 of the booking process is the actual booking itself. So you've done all the hard work. You've got them to come onto your listing or onto your website. You've given them all the information that they need. You've given them the incentives to book. And now they've clicked on that book now button. This is the part of the booking process where so many properties either win or they lose. All the hard work can be rewarded or it can be undone by just a few very simple things. And I'm going to quickly walk you through them to make sure that you can then check to see what your process is and if you think that your booking section of your website is either getting people to book or it's turning them away. Again, as always, you can go to boostly.co.uk blog booking process stage number 4 and you can read exactly what I've put about down on this if you can't follow it in the video. So we're going to quickly show you on to Booking.com, and these guys win so many times when it comes to things like this, just purely because of the amount of pressure they put on the booker to book, basically. So they've done the section, they've chosen a room, they click onto here, given all the reasons why. So no account needed, it only takes 2 minutes to book. Again, really persuasive copy and text. Give you the section here. Now this is the most important bit. Make sure you don't ask for a lot of information here. Simple first name, last name, phone number, email address. That's really all that is needed at this stage. The rest of the information you can get at a later date, but you want to make sure that you're not asking for too much information like the full address, check-in times, any additional information. Don't do that right now because you can get that. And again, look what's happened here on Booking.com. They've seen that you've been sat here waiting on the deciding page, on the booking page, and a little pop-up's come up. It's almost yours. We just need a few more details. You can't save your reservation if you leave this page. Once it's gone, it is gone. So, and the price match as well. So it's really, they do hammer home, and this is why they get so many bookings, and this is why you get so many cancellations. And we're going to go on to buyer's remorse next, but the reason why it's a 30% plus cancellation rate on online travel agents like Booking.com is that they get a guest to book on these sites before, probably psychologically, they're even ready to book. So you've got to bear this in mind. So I'm gonna explain more about buyer's remorse in the last stage, but I just want to quickly show you what Booking.com are doing on a customer end. So make sure it's clean, easy to use, and they can easily hit that reserve button. So let me just quickly show you how your website might be letting you down. So the two main property management softwares or property management systems in the UK is FreeToBook, and then we have Vevo. So I'll quickly show you FreeToBook. So this is their booking page. Now, I love FreeToBook before I go on to slate them, but their booking page, in my opinion, is outdated, and it can turn, and it has turned a lot of people away. And you can check this by looking at the stats. So you can see on your Google Analytics the steps that people take, and I can see that with ours. And one of the main things and one of the problems that we had was our FreeToBook booking page wasn't set up for mobile bookings. And as we all know now, the majority of people are doing their bookings via a mobile phone. So they're going to come onto this page on a mobile phone, and the text is big, and you've got to scroll, and it just doesn't work. So, and I have advised this to them, to update this because it is out of date. But if you have got a FreeToBook account, which a lot of you do, and you do use it as your main source of booking, there are still ways just to sort of help. So obviously the first things first is make sure that your contact information is at the top. That's really important, just in case a guest get confused. A recent survey has shown that even if a guest is booking online and they have a question at this stage, they are still likely to call the property. So make sure that information is clear. My first bit of advice is that go and check your FreeToBook account and make sure that it is set up for mobile bookings. If not, it costs £50. Or £50 plus probably now. Just do it because it is turning away so many potential bookings. So as you can see here, when they click on, you put your information in, all of that. You got to try and keep it. And again, I would really recommend just having it so the guests can just put in their first name, last name, city where they're in, telephone number, and an email address. So if you are with FreeToBook, like I say, I love the guys. The customer service is amazing. The back end technology, and it's so easy to use, and it's so clear and concise. It's just the front end where the guest is booking that just need a bit of help. Vevo, they're the other guys in the market, really popular. They look really good. I know we've got a lot of problems behind the scenes. I won't go into that, but on the front end, it is laid out well. It is easy for a guest to make a booking. It gives, again, just some final little reminders of why this is the property is the one for them. First name, last name, email address, phone number. That's it. If a guest wants to, they can put in extra information, but it's not a requirement. Card details, they know how much money is going to come out of their account, and they will know that how much is left to pay when they arrive. Simple, clear, concise, works on mobiles. Vevo is really good. I'll just show you what I've created. This is the Boostly booking engine. Some of that I'm still working on. But again, select the dates, select your room, for example. There'll be more pictures in here. But you come onto the booking page. And some of it I thought, which has worked really well in testing, is that you basically email marketing. I've spoken about this in the past. Email marketing is a great, massive form of marketing, one of the most popular forms out there. So when a guest makes a booking, instead of having to email them saying, would you mind if we send you emails, you're going to get them on your membership program, and your membership program gives them an instant discount. So as soon as they put in their their email address, they get an instant discount. So again, it's great for you because you're getting the booking, you're getting somebody on your emailing list. They've given you permission. The guest gets an instant discount, which again will stop them from leaving this process and going somewhere else. The main thing with all of this that I'm showing you right now is that this stage is crucial, because the last thing you want them to do is to go, I've had enough of this, and then they just go back to starting the search again. They go right back to stage number 1 of plan. You don't want them to be doing that, because you've literally got them on the edge here. As soon as they leave your website and as soon as they go somewhere else, they aren't coming back. So make sure that the booking page is easy to use. Again, first name, last name, phone number, special request if they need one. If not, don't worry. Card details, off they go. Cancellation policy, it's in there. In an ideal world, everybody would be booking via your site instead of going on to the booking engines, OTAs, but we all know that it happens. So you just got to make sure that when they do get onto your booking page, you make it as easy as possible, which is what we're all working towards here to get that direct booking. Okay, you do these things correctly, you'll get the booking. Next, I'm going to talk about how to combat buyer's remorse. Okay, the final stage of the booking process is buyer's remorse. So you've cracked the planning stage, the research, the decide, and the booking. You've got the guest to book. How do you stop that dreaded cancellation? Like I said in the previous stage, when a guest books for an online travel agent, the cancellation rates can be 30% plus on average, which is really high. That's one in 3. So what can we do to limit that guest cancelling? I'm going to walk you through some stages. If you want to go back on this at any point, as always, go to boostly.co.uk/blog, go down to the booking process, and I've got it all down here. So first tip is email the guest within 24 hours of booking. Now, when they book via your website, they will get a booking confirmation, whether it's via your booking engine, whether it's via an OTA, they will get a confirmation of some sort, but it is good for you personally to send an email to the guest 24 hours after a booking. It shows personalization. It also helps with giving any important information or collecting some more information from the guest. So a nice simple reach out to the customer who has made the booking will make a lot of difference. Now, a big comment I get at this stage is that I haven't got the time to make sure I email every guest personally 24 hours after booking. And the good news is that you don't have to personally do it. There is awesome automation tools out there now that will work with your booking engine. So when a booking does come in, you can set a rule. So 24, 72 hours, 40 hours after the booking, they will automatically be sent an email. You create the template, you create the copy, and that gets sent out. So for you, it's non-additional work. For the guest, they get that email from yourself, a nice little welcome email, bit of information about the property, let them know a little bit more about the room, etc. You can do all of that, and it doesn't have to be you sat behind a computer every day, which is really key. Number two, a great way to avoid buyer's remorse and a cancellation is quite simply add in non-refundable rates on these online travel agents. That will cut down on that massively. I have written more about this in the past. Just go on to Boostly and go how to cut down on cancellation rates for your property. There's a full blog on there. Really recommend that you check that out. Another option, and again, before you jump to conclusions, no, you don't have to do this manually. Send your guest a text message. Emails can go missing. The amount of times in the past when I've had a guest arrive at the property and they hadn't sort of pre-booked a meal and they wanted one, and I said, did you get my email saying that you have to let us know if you want an evening meal? And they said, I never got the email. So many times an email can go missing for whatever reason, or we just don't read it. Something that never goes missing is a text message. So as you'll notice now, when guests are booking on your property, I'd say 75 to 80% of the time they are booking with a mobile phone. Not many people use landlines anymore. It's just a fact. People are booking with their mobile phone, so you now have access to them at all times. If you're like me, I am never too far away from my mobile phone, and that is the same for your guests as well. So to keep up with the personalization, as well as sending them an email, send them a text. Now, I don't recommend bombarding them with text messages. We all know the types of companies that do, and it gets annoying. But if you could just send a little text, again, 24 hours after booking, 24 hours before arrival, or even 12 hours before arrival, and send them really specific information. For example, if you're a bed and breakfast and you have a very strict check-in time, because you don't want to be waiting around for them, say it's between 1 and 4, you could send a text message at 9 o'clock in the morning of arrival just saying, please could you give us, or text back with your estimated time of arrival, please note that our check-in time is between 1 and 4. It will help you because you're not having to sit around and wait for people to arrive. It's good for the guests because they know that A, you're expecting them and you can communicate directly with them. And also as well, you can upsell at this point. So you could have one 24 hours before arrival. If you've got a restaurant on site, you could be last chance to book your table for tomorrow's night. Please let us know if you'd like to book. Text back yes or no. Things like that. If they wanted to sell them maybe an upsell on some alcohol in the room or a bottle of champagne for a loved one, etc., you could do that. So there's some really cools you can do. And again, it's not all manual. There are automatic tools out there that are on the internet, which the big hotels have been using for years, and it's now being available to us, the small guys. So there's one called Zingle, and I have wrote a big blog about this. Since I wrote this blog in 2016, there is a couple of other automatic text messaging companies that have become available. So I really do recommend that you check them out. And finally, again, the reason why someone has booked with you whether it's a holiday cottage, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a bed and breakfast, and they haven't booked with a faceless organization like a Marriott or a Hilton or a Travelodge or a Premier Inn, is because you offer something a little bit different. You are technically welcoming these people into your home. It's the social aspect. It's why people still come and stay in independently owned bed and breakfast or hotels or holiday cottages. So you've got to give them something that the other guys won't. And this is where you can work with your local community, whether it's a hospitality association or if you go alone and you work with individual bars, restaurants, attractions that are close to where you're based. Let me explain. A week before arrive, you're going to go and stay somewhere in the UK or in Europe. Imagine how cool it would be if you get an email or a text message from the property that you're going to stay at to let them know that you've just sent them some money off vouchers for a local restaurant, a local bar, or a local water park, or just something like that. So this is where you have to go out and network and just sort of chat to local businesses in the area and just sort of say, listen, I run a property, we want to send guests to you. What can you give to me that I can pass on to the guests to get them to come and visit you, instead of going to Burger King, McDonald's, Nando's, one of the big chains. Again, you're working with local businesses here to get people to go and shop local, eat local, and visit local. Okay, so one thing you could do again is get like local vouchers. You could get money off. You could get just think of what you can do at this stage after the booking's been made. And again, you can send it a week before arrival, 24 hours before arrival, or you can send it at the point of booking, just to let you know, here's a little present. Thank you for booking with us. Thank you for booking with a independently owned property. We've got you £10 off here, etc. Try and think of something that you can send them that will have an instant gratification towards you as a property. If you start doing this and you just show personality, I guarantee that your cancellation rates will drop. Now, you never can factor in, simply illness, car problems, change of plans. That will happen. You're never going to get a 0% cancellation rate. But if you can get 30% to 20% or 15% cancellation rate, you're going to have a happier rota, a happier calendar, happier profits, because you're not then having to worry that a guest who's booked and hasn't laid any money down isn't going to arrive. So that's how you can sort of combat the buyer's remorse. My biggest takeaway would be, try and get the guest to lay down a little bit of money when they're making the booking. I found in any scenario that when someone has to lay down a bit of money, it doesn't matter if it's £10, £20, £100, £200, whatever, if they committing some form of money to something, they're more likely to turn up than if somebody who can just book for free, don't have to pay until on arrival. Those are the ones that, well, if they're 50-50 or 60-40 or 30-70, they will cancel. So how can you do this? Again, there's loads of automation tools out there. It's about having a crystal clear deposit scheme on your website. It's about making sure that when someone books via an OTA that you've got tools in place where you can check that the card's got money on it, etc. I have written and recorded a video all on this on Boostly, so you can go and find it. It's all about automation tools. I am creating something for my booking engine that I am creating, so if you want to know more about it, please get in touch. But that has been the 5 stages of the booking process. I hope this has made things a lot more clearer and you can understand what people go through when they try and book at your place. If you've got any questions, please reach out. The email is mark@boostly.co.uk. Final time, if you want to see this and go back on all the 5 steps at any point, go to boostly.co.uk/blog. If you scroll down, there's a full section just on the booking process here. You can also go and see really other cool features and blogs that we've had in the past, including interviews with other hospitality owners, the new Boost Hospitality podcast, how-to blogs. There's everything in here. So we'd love for you to go and check that out and leave some feedback. If you want to reach me on Facebook, you can do. It's facebook.com/Mr. Mark Simpson. If you want to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, it's @BoostlyUK. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching this. We'll see you again soon.